Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Today we are going to be doing a flow that helps you kind of work through arthritis pain. I have psoriatic arthritis, so I can kind of relate to the feeling of it taking about 10-15 minutes to be able to function whenever you wake up in the morning. So let's just go ahead and get started in a comfortable seat. You can cross your legs. If you want, you can sit on a pillow or something to kind of boost you up and to be able to grow long through your spine. We're just going to find like some comfortable movement. You can do neck rolls. You can roll out your shoulders. Whatever you do on one side, make sure you do on the other. Just start to tap into your breath. Leave behind anything that happened before you stepped on your mat. Let go of any worries of anything you have to do whenever you step off. Just be present. Once you've kind of rolled out your neck and or shoulders, place your thumb and index finger around your wrist. You can lightly add some pressure to it and just start to roll out your wrists. You can roll it one way and then roll it the other. Switch your wrists out whenever you feel satisfied. Just kind of tapping into that movement of our bodies. One thing that I was reading about arthritis is, unfortunately, moving is what helps it, which is a little bittersweet because that's also what doesn't feel so good when you have it. Whenever you feel satisfied with your wrist rolls, inhale, bring your hands up overhead. Exhale, twist to the right. Place your left hand on the outside of your right knee. Just bring your right hand lightly behind you. You don't have to worry about cranking. We're not trying to turn as much as possible. We're just trying to kind of warm up our spine and our side bodies. Twist as much as naturally happens. Inhale, come back to center, bring your hands up overhead. Exhale, twist to the left. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Maybe you close your eyes. Inhale, come back to center. Bring your hands to one side of you and come into a tabletop position. Stack your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees. Send your gaze down. Go long through your spine. Press firmly into the tops of your feet. Inhale, drop your belly. Lift your tailbone and the crown of your head towards the ceiling, the sky. Exhale, arch your spine, draw your tailbone and your crown down. Inhale, cow, arch your back. Exhale, cat. go through a couple rounds of this with your own breath. You can do hip circles. You can do whatever feels best for your body here. When it comes to cat and cow, I always just like to keep it simple. I've never been really into like veering off the railroad tracks, as it's called, whenever it comes to cat and cow, because just simply doing this feels amazing for me. Whenever you feel good, come to a neutral spine, flip your wrists. You don't have to point them directly towards your knees. If they only come out halfway and they more like splay out towards the side of your mat, that's fine. If they're more, what only feels good is like a 45-degree angle in your hands, that's fine. Do whatever feels best for you. I'm double jointed, so I look really freaky in my arms whenever I flip my wrists. But just feel that stretch. You can rock back and forth. You want to make sure that your palms are staying grounded. So if you're rocking back and your palms are coming up, ease out of it a little bit. It's just to kind of warm up our wrists, get a nice little stretch in them. You can also flip your palms over to where you're staring at the palms of your hands, and the top of your hand is planted on your mat. You can do circles. Again, we're just trying to kind of warm up those joints that are so sensitive and ache. That's the beautiful thing about yoga, is movement's hard when you have arthritis, but again, it's the best thing to do for your arthritis. And I think that's why yoga is so beautiful and why it's recommended for arthritis patients, is because it helps bring such gentle, mindful movement to your body. You don't ever have to force anything. You're just here to let things happen, not to force them to happen. Whenever your wrists feel nice and good, you can flip them back over. Tuck your toes. Come into downward facing dog. In this down dog, we're going to really enjoy it. Ground down through your palms. Bend one knee and then the other knee. Just stretch through those feet. Walk it out. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Stretch through your calves by pressing your heel down towards your mat. Find stillness. If your heels don't touch the mat, that's fine. Take an inhale, gaze to the top of your mat. Exhale, step to the top of your mat, forward fold. You can either keep your feet hip-width distance apart. You can keep them toes touching with a slight space between your heels. I think I'm going to do hip-width distance because I think that's just what will feel yummy for me right now. Stay long through your spine. Use your abdomen to fold over your thighs. Relax your neck. Inhale, come to a halfway lift. Grow long through your spine. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and down your back. Place your hands on either your shins or your thighs. Shift your weight into your toes. Exhale, fold your torso down. Inhale, mountain pose. Rise through your chest. Bring your hands up over your head. Tuck your tailbone, draw your upper rib cage in. And if you notice I'm swaying back and forth, I'm trying to feel some movement. So don't feel like you ever have to be stagnant in these postures. Rock back and forth, play with the weight around in the balls of your feet and your heels. Take an inhale. Exhale, side body bend. You can step your foot back behind your other foot. You can grab onto your wrist and lightly pull up and out. Whatever you decide to do, just make sure you're staying relaxed through your shoulders. You're not tensing up and hugging your ears. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, side body bend to the other side. Think more of shooting out than shooting over. You want to keep length in both side bodies. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, cactus out your arms. Lift your chest up, send your gaze up. Bump your hips a little bit forward while you shift weight into your heels for a baby back bend. If you feel any compression in your low spine, try rising through your chest more and bending back less. Inhale, come back to mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step back into a high plank. Shift forward, lower all the way down to your mat. Untuck your toes, bring your elbows directly underneath your shoulders, parallel your forearms, plant your palms onto your mat, grip with your fingertips and slide your chest open. Sphinx pose. Keep active in the tops of your feet. On your next exhale, slowly lower down. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Press through your hands to come all the way back into child's pose. Send your hips towards your heels. You can either come into child's pose with your knees open wide, toes touching, and crawl your hands forward. Let your chest and forehead melt all the way down to your mat. Or you can keep your knees closed and bring your hands down by your thighs and your calves, palms faced up, and fold your torso over your thighs. If I were to stretch out the back of my neck, I usually like to come into child's pose with my knees closed because it gives my neck the opportunity to stretch out really nicely. However you're in child's pose, come to a tabletop position, tuck your toes, come into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Square your hips towards your mat. Flex through your foot. Keep active in both palms. Exhale, draw your knee into your chest. Step up into a low lunge. Keep your front knee stacked over your front ankle, lower down your back leg. You can either keep your toes tucked or untuck them, however you feel most stable. And rise through your torso. Bring your hands up overhead for crescent moon. Instead of dumping all of your weight, keep your pelvis active. Whenever your hands are lifted over your head, if you turn your pinkies in towards one another, you can feel your triceps engage a little bit. It adds just some inner and outer rotation. On your exhale, lower your hands down towards your mat, or you can put them on your hips. We're going to do half splits. So straighten through your front leg as you push your hips back towards your back foot. Flex, you may need to walk your front foot out just a little bit. Flex through your toes. Feel that stretch in the back of your hamstring, your calf. Keep your spine long as you fold over your leg. Inhale, crescent moon. Bring your hands up overhead. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, come back into that lunge, tuck your toes, come off of your back knee, come into crescent lunge. Stack your back heel over your toes. Keep your front knee stacked over your front ankle. To square your hips towards the front of your mat, lightly guide your left hip forward as you gently pull your right hip back. Inhale. Exhale, spin open, plant your back foot to parallel with the ends of your mat. Warrior two. Reach your arms out in opposite directions. Set an intentional gaze over your front middle finger. On your next exhale, cartwheel your hands down to a low lunge. You can either flow through a chaturanga or step back into three-leg downward facing dog. Set your right foot down. If you float through a high to low plank, just meet us in downward facing dog. Every downward facing dog we do, I highly encourage for you to find movement in it. Bend your knees, maybe sway your hips, feel that stretch in your side body. Inhale, lift your left leg high, square your hips towards your mat, flex that foot, use your glute to pick up your leg. Exhale, bring your knee towards your nose, low lunge. Place your back knee down, option to untuck your toes. Inhale, crescent moon. Bring your hands up overhead. Feel this posture. Feel the stretch in your lower body. Maybe you feel your muscles really engaged. Embrace whatever you feel. You can either bring your hands to your hips or bring them down to the floor. Half split. Straighten through your front leg. In this posture, you also, in every posture, normally, you want to keep your hips squared. And your spine long. Inhale, crescent moon. Exhale, half splits, fold over your leg. Inhale, crescent moon. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, come back to your low lunge, pick up your back knee, rise into crescent lunge. Grow long through your spine, relax your shoulder blades down and away from your ears. Square your hips. Stay firmly planted in all of your toes. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Open up to the side. Parallel your back foot with the short ends of your mat. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Squeeze your shoulder blades together to open up through your chest. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to a low lunge. Step your foot back. You can flow through a high to low plank. You can always do it on your knees if you want. Or you can come straight back into three-legged dog. On your exhale, lower your foot down. Walk out your dog. Find that fluid movement. Inhale, gaze to the top of your mat. Exhale, step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Sink your hips down and back. Shift your weight slightly into your heels. Grow long through your torso. Bring your hands up overhead. Gaze down and make sure you can see all 10 of your toes. If you can't, shift your weight back just a little bit more. Breathe in this posture. On your next inhale, sweep your hands back. Come up onto your toes for drinking bird. Try to pick your arms up to where they're above your hips. In this balancing posture, it helps to find an unmoving point of focus for drishti. On your next exhale, chair pose, drop your heels back to your mat, sweep your arms up overhead. Take an inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, pick your left foot up towards your glute. Step it back 2 to 3 feet at a 45-degree angle towards the left front corner of your mat. Keep your front leg bent over your ankle. Slowly rise your torso into warrior one. You want to find a heel to mat connection in this back foot. So if you're not finding that, try stepping it up a little bit. You can step your feet out wider if you need to. Just whatever feels good for your body. I don't know if you can hear my kids right now, but they are freaking out. My poor husband. But that doesn't matter because I'm in the present, where I don't hear my kids excessively screaming in the background. Inhale, straighten through your front leg. You can again bring your hands to your hips. You can interlace them behind your back, grab opposite elbows behind your back. Inhale, rise through your chest. Exhale, fold down for pyramid pose. Keep a slight bend in that front leg. You don't want to lock your knee. Keep your hips square. Keep your spine long. If that means you're right here and that's as much as you can fold with a straight spine, that's perfectly okay. Again, yoga is not about forcing things. It's about letting them happen. And the mental journey of all of that along the way. You can always bring your hands down towards your mat. If you need some more support, I definitely do in this posture for the most part. Always find what feels good for your body. And you're doing yoga right. As long as you do what makes you happy. That's why it's such an awesome workout. Come to a halfway lift in your spine. Step your foot back. Parallel it to the short ends of your mat. Open up your arms into Warrior Two. Once you rise, you may need to adjust your stance a little bit to find your proper alignment. That's okay. Inhale, straighten through your front leg. Parallel both feet to the short ends of your mat. Exhale, wide leg forward fold. Hinge at your hips. Hair all over my mat. Hinge at your hips. Bring your palms down towards your mat. Slightly shift your weight into your toes. You can widen or shorten this stance depending on where you'd like to feel the stretch. But make sure all four corners of your feet are grounded. Relax your neck and shoulders. Just breathe into this posture. Inhale, come to a halfway lift in your torso. Exhale, Skandasana to the right. Bend your right knee. You can either come up onto your toes of your right foot, or you can keep it planted. It's really just whatever's accessible for your body. Flex your left toes towards your face. You can open up through your chest, keep your arms extended, or you can bring them to heart center. Whatever you do, try your best to twist your torso towards your straight leg. Inhale, come to a halfway lift through center. Exhale, Skandasana to the left. One thing I noticed about, I have psoriatic arthritis and I feel it the most in my ankles and my feet. especially first thing in the morning. Doing yoga really helped with the stiffness of everyday life. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, low lunge. You can step your foot back and flow through a high to low plank into upward facing dog or Sphinx pose, or you can just go straight down into downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze to the top of your mat. Exhale, step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Lift through your torso. Hold for your exhale. Inhale, drinking bird. Sweep your arms back, come up onto your toes. Exhale, chair pose. Take an inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. This time, bring your right foot into your glute. Step it back about 2 to 3 feet. You can walk your front foot out a little bit more towards the left side of your mat if you'd like. Plant your foot at a 45-degree angle towards the top right corner. Inhale, rise through your chest. Find that heel to mat connection in your back foot. I just mentioned that I feel it the most in my feet. And I noticed while doing yoga that these postures where my foot was in a different angle than it is from everyday life. Like, your foot's not at a 45-degree angle in like 90% of what you do in life. I really can't think of anything where your foot sits like this. I noticed those are what helped my feet the most, is what felt the best. But that's also just for my body. Everyone's body's different. Always do what's best for you. I will say with yoga, whenever you find what's best for you, stick to it. Do it regularly. Even if it's only for like a few minutes a day. Life gets busy. You may not be able to do a 45-minute yoga session every time you feel stiff, but if you explore yoga, you can find something that just helps you out, even if you only do those postures for a few seconds each for 5 minutes a day. On your next inhale, straighten through your front leg. Exhale, pyramid pose, fold over. Keep your hips square by pulling your left hip back, your right hip forward. Keep a micro bend in your front leg so you're not locking out through your knee. Keep your spine long. Inhale, slowly come to a halfway lift in your torso. Exhale, or I guess on your next inhale, come into warrior two. Flip it around for you guys. Parallel your back foot towards the short ends of your mat. Open up through your chest. Reach your hands out in opposite directions. Don't just complacently let them sit there. Actively spread them apart. Set your gaze over your front middle finger. Inhale, straighten through your front leg. Point both toes towards the corners of your mat. Burst open through your chest, star pose. Exhale, come into horse pose. Bend your knees to stack over your ankles. You can find movement here, you can find stillness. You can bring your hands to heart center. You can bring them to your thighs. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Take an inhale. Place your hands on your thighs if they're not there. Exhale, twist towards the right. Straighten through your left arm. Open up through your side body. Lost my train of thought there. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, star pose. Exhale, parallel your feet towards the short ends of the mat. Wide leg, forward fold. You can reach for your ankles. You can just keep your hands directly underneath your face. You can walk your hands back towards the other side of your mat to deepen your fold. Again, just do whatever feels good. Inhale, come to a halfway lift in your torso. Exhale, low lunge. Step your foot back. Shift forward. Lower all the way down to your belly. Come into Sphinx pose again. If you haven't come into it since the beginning of class, even if you have been going into Sphinx pose, maybe you feel how it feels differently in your body now. Maybe it feels better. Maybe you feel like you can rise a little higher. Exhale. Lower down, plant your hands underneath your shoulders, press up to stand on your knees. Place your hands on your lower back, fingertips pointed down. You can keep your toes tucked, or you can come to the tops of your feet. It's whatever you feel most stable in. Inhale, rise through your chest. Exhale, camel pose. Send your gaze up. Slightly bend in your back. Press your hips forward. If you feel like this is a lot of compression in your lower back, rise through your chest more. I remember the day my yoga teacher, trainer, I think I said that right, told us that cue. If you feel compression in your back, rise through your chest. And I was like, wow, game changer. I hate back bends, so it made me appreciate them a little bit more. On your inhale, slowly rise up. Come to sit on your heels. Bring your feet out in front of you. Plant your feet on your mat, hip width distance apart. Lower all the way down onto your mat. Make sure that you can graze the back of your heels with your fingertips. On your next inhale, lift through your pelvis, bridge pose. Keep your knees drawn in towards one another like you have a block in between them. Engage your thighs, engage your glutes. Press down through your shoulders and your arms. As you rise your chest towards your chin, pull your chin away from your chest. Find that space. Take an inhale. Maybe you lift just a little bit higher. Exhale, lower all the way down slowly. Take a breath. Bring the soles, actually, let's do this. I'm switching it up on myself. Bring the soles of your feet out towards the edge of your mat. Let your knees fall in towards one another for fallen bridge. See, the beautiful thing about yoga. I initially planned on doing something else and I was like, no. This flows better. I think this will feel better. Haha. Spontaneous creativity. Bring your knees apart. Bring them into your chest. You can rock and roll the length of your spine a little bit. But come up to a seat. Straighten your legs out long in front of you. You can have them about hip width distance. You can bring them together. Whatever feels good for your body. Inhale, your hands up overhead. Exhale, seated forward fold. Bend your knees as generously as you need to keep your spine long. You can grab your feet, you can grab your calves. This is more of a lower back stretch than it is a hamstring stretch. You want to make sure that lower back feels yummy in this. You don't want to be cranking it, forcing it. Inhale, slowly rise. Bring your feet in towards your body for Supta Konasana. You can give yourself as much space as you'd like. You can make like more of a diamond shape. You can bring them in closer. It's really whatever, again, feels best for your hips, your back, your legs. I'm gonna bring mine out a little bit farther just because I seldom do. And I'm all into switching it up today. On your exhale, fold over towards your toes. Again, keep your spine long. Let your knees just relax open. Take an inhale. And an exhale. Come back up to a seated position. Slowly lower all the way down to your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Let your left leg go long onto your mat for supine twist. Bring your right knee up and over your body. Let it just fall to the left side of your mat. Keep both your shoulders grounded. Feel that stretch. Feel the twist. You can tee or cactus out your arms. You can send your gaze towards the right side. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale. Let your right leg long on your mat. Inhale, hug your left knee into your side body. Exhale, twist to the right. I actually read that they did a study where they had arthritis patients do yoga for, I think it was 3 weeks. And that they all said that even if they didn't feel a physical difference, they mentally were able to cope with the pain more. was really interesting. That even if physically nothing has changed, you can mentally open up your mind to cope with it better. Just think that's cool. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, happy baby. Grab the insides or outside edges of your feet. You can grab your calves or the back of your thighs if those aren't accessible for you. Ground down through your tailbone and your shoulders. You can sway back and forth. You can straighten one leg, then the other, maybe both. Slowly let go of your feet. Hug yourself for showing up, for moving your body even though it hurts, even though it's not the most comfortable thing in the world for you to do. Exhale. Final Shavasana. Let everything go. Relax the space between your eyebrows. Unclench your jaw. Let your toes fall out. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Let everything go. I encourage you to stay in this final Shavasana as long as you would like. If you have to move on with your day, feel free. If you want this to last for 10 to 15 minutes, maybe you do like a light meditation after this, go ahead and turn off the video, do your thing. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love comments and feedback on how this felt in your body. I hope it helps ease the pain in your joints. The light, love in me sees and honors the light and love in all of you. Namaste.